Alright, today I'm doing a video on this 2009 Dodge Charger SE police version. Picked this up in North Carolina. So this has the 5.7 liter Hemi in it. I'm just gonna do a walk around. I haven't done anything to this car at all yet. So this is the way that it came. Let's take a look at the interior. It's got power door, locks, power windows, cruise control. It's got a decent stereo system too. I'm actually surprised at how good the stereo system is. The shifter's not in the spot that the typical Dodge Chargers are in because this is a police version. As you can see, all the police equipment has been removed. They left the center console in here, so I'm probably gonna customize some junk holders in there and stuff, maybe a couple extra cup holders. Let's take a look at the seats. And from the back I'll do the dash and stuff better. Gotta unlock it. Okay. Well, before I get to the back, I'm going to finish up the front. So here you go. This car has 152,000 miles on it. Starts, runs, drives excellent. So here's the shifter right there. So on this, you have to go down and then you rotate the shifter to go through the gears. This also has an optional manual shift. So what you do is on the end here, you push down that button and that activates the manual shift. And then right here is the plus and minus arrow, so you can manually downshift. If you just push this in, it'll automatically allow it to go through all gears. But what that does is, this vehicle has an eco mode. And so for the eco mode, to save fuel, what it does is it shuts down 4 cylinders. And that way you save about 20% for fuel. And if you push that button in, it deactivates the eco mode, so it's always running on 8 cylinders when that's enabled. It's got a decent stereo system. That's an MP3 player. It has an auxiliary port right down here. It works well. I'll start the car after I go through the interior so that you can hear it and see everything work. But it does have a glove box. Just got the paperwork that came in the car. I haven't even looked inside of there. Some compartments on the door over here and also on the door over here. It's got AC that works really well. So you can see they had their police equipment stuck up here. So what that did is it pulled up on the dash right here. You can see where it's separated. So I'm going to see if I can fasten that back down, or else customize something to just go in there with the curve that makes it look like it was supposed to be that way. The rear doors, this is what they look like. There's a compartment in the bottom here. And then for the rear seats, this has rear vinyl seats, which is a nice option. Because then if the kids spill something, it is easy to clean. Really, it's in pretty decent condition. all around. This car has 6 speakers in it. It's got the 2 in the rear, 2 in the doors on the front, and then 2 up on the dash. We got a sunglasses holder. There's the cop light. This turns on red or white. The visors have mirrors on them when you flip them down. All right. And now I'll show you that everything works. I got arguing kids in the background. Sorry about that. Okay, so this right here, it takes this kind of a key. I had an issue with one of the other key fobs for a little bit, and what it did is made the enableizer activate, and so I couldn't start the car. So what happens is when that occurs is when you go to turn the key to the on position, right here where it says park, reverse, neutral, drive, they will all have squares around them and X's through them. That's when you know that you're not able to start it. So if that happens, I just had to wait for a while for it to deactivate. I really don't know how to get it out of that mode, if there's something that you do to get out of that mode or what. But right here where the tachometer is, and speedometer, sorry, where the speedometer is, you push this in and then you can go through the different settings. You can see the temperature right there. It shows it's in eco mode. Supposedly you can hold this down to get the engine hours, but apparently I don't know how to do it because it doesn't do any. Oh, here we go. I'm lying. That's the engine hours. So, okay, I'll do a startup on it. So all you do is just turn this key like you would. And AC works. Blows cold. Let's try this. Let's change it into, let's see.
Have a separate fridge.
What can you?
See if we can get a good radio station.
Which would never happen. And if you like golf, in particular you like Tiger Woods.
Wow, they actually have Rush Limbaugh. I'm trying to figure out what station it is. But it works good. It's got some good bass to it. So yeah. It does have the anti-theft system in it as well. You can see. Let's look in the trunk. Alright. So here is the trunk space. It's kind of neat. These take a gigantic battery, probably for all the police equipment. But you can see this is where the spare tire would go. So if you take that out, then you got a lot of extra storage space in there. This comes with a rollout tray. You have to hold these things down on both sides, and then this whole thing will roll back. So you can set some extra stuff up there, and yeah. The battery for this car is in the trunk, not under the hood, and there it is. It's a pretty good sized battery. So there you go, that's the trunk space. I hate it when they remove the logos and don't let me do it myself because they always scratch it. They could care less whether the car gets scratched or not. So now I'm going to show you under the hood. So it has a 5.7 Hemi in it. In 2009, there was an advantage to getting those cars because they increased the horsepower in these engines in 2009 by 30 horsepower. So this has an extra 30 horsepower compared to like a prior year, which is very nice. So it has 369 horsepower stock like it is. I believe it's 369. If it's 30 horsepower, it should actually be like 380, because the stock ones prior to this year had 350 horsepower for the V8s and 250 for the 6-cylinders. So here's an overview of the engine. There you go. Power steering, coolant. Over here there's an opening right up here, that's to access the brake fluid right in there. Engine oil fill right here. Your air filter, takes 7 quarts of oil to do an oil change with. You got your fuse box right here, engine oil chuck right here, access for the transmission to fill it. It says dealer only. There's not a dipstick in here for the transmission. I don't know how that works. I don't know if you have to buy something that goes in here. That's why it says dealer only, and they have their own stick that they keep there at the dealers and they stick it in there to check the level, or what. Or maybe it's one of those non-serviceable type transmissions. Haven't done my research in that. You've also got the windshield wiper fluid reservoir right here. That's pretty much it for fluids, but there you go. That's a good look at the engine. Car to 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. So it's pretty decent for speed. And do a test drive real quick for you. Anything I missed? I don't think there's anything that I missed that's really too important. Okay. So here we go for shifting. You can see that you pull down and then it rotates. See that? And then what I'm gonna do is right here, when I push the button in right here to put it into the manual shift mode and take it out of eco, you'll see the thing pop up by the park reverse neutral drive. Right there, see 5 gears, then you can push the down arrow. See, and it automatically shifts it down to the lowest gear it's able to go in when you push the down arrow. And then you can limit it as to what gear it'll go up to. So there we go, that activates all 8 cylinders. And take you for a drive. Okay, let's see if I can start it at a stop. I'm not going to completely floor it, but there you go. Pretty well near had it completely floored. So that gives you a pretty good idea. I don't like to do that to cars, just hard on them. But I'll tell you what, these things can definitely move. I hope you could see it. I tried to put it back far enough so you could see the road and the speedometer. That way you can time it yourself to see what it was doing. But yeah, these cars can definitely move. I'm not pushing it in very far now. But cruise control is on the stick right over here that my finger's on. push it down to turn it on, or push it in to turn it on, then you push it down to set it. I'm gonna park over here in the shade. And there we go. All right. There was a test drive so you could see the engine and stuff too. Oh, see it drive down the road. Yeah, that's all. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's an overview of the 2009 Dodge Charger SE Police Edition. One thing I did forget is the mirrors used to have lights on them, and where they took the equipment off, there were holes in the roof. They put a plug in almost all of them except for one that's on the roof, and then they stuck some aluminum tape on that. But I'll show you that real quick. So you can see there's a plug, right there. Then some aluminum tape up over here. And then a couple of plugs right here. It's the only disadvantage. I mean, you could put some fiberglass up under there and then fill it in with Bondo and repaint it, but I'm not going to worry about that. So alright guys, well, there's you an overview of this car. Hope you enjoyed. Hope I didn't make it too boring for you. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.